This is John Bailey, the epic voice of Honest Trailers, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. It's a Fangirls podcast with five-ish people. The tangents and squee will continue. Squee.
The tangents and squee continue all the way to episode 109 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. And Glory be, it was like a mini second Fandom Christmas over the weekend. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week by going to the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Belvedere.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello, everyone. I forgot where I lived there for a second.
I was like, Rachel, you know where you're from, right?
I'm on Earth. Which Earth is it? I don't know. I've gotten to that point in the Flash verse. So, be a little confusing. It's like, which Earth am I on?
That could happen, sure.
It could happen.
Well, if you're off too, you have some amazing internet.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet Skype never breaks on Earth too. They probably don't even have Skype. They probably have something wonderful that's better than Skype. Anyway, we
probably whatever they have on Star Trek. Anyway,
we probably shouldn't badmouth Skype. It could probably hear us.
I know it's. Okay, so here's a slight tangent. I've been mainlining Markiplier's videos for Five Nights at Freddy's, which, for someone who hates horror, I'm, like, weirdly fascinated by this. I would never play this game, but watching him play it is hilarious. So, like, there's all this stuff about AI and robots in different things and animatronics, and, like, they have personalities and know where you are and stuff, so I'm just kind of creeped out by all this now, so that made me think of that. Like Skype has some sort of something in the internet that's gonna try to scoop your brain out.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Anyway.
It's gonna be like HAL and Space Odyssey.
Yes. The most recent one was Sister Location, and the little what's it called? I guess not really Overwatch, but your AI boss that's just over the intercom says you have reached what's it called? Now I'm screwing it all up. You've reached a place where you're unauthorized to be. You have until 6 a.m. to survive, and then someone will come and find you and fire you. And we're just like, okay, fire me. I want to get out of here. Take your paycheck and shove it.
I'm pretty sure Skype sometimes we can't hear it, but it's just like how it's like, sorry, Five-ish Fangirls, I'm afraid I can't do that.
You are not authorized to be podcasting today.
Yeah. The cake is a lie. No, wait, that's Portal. Anyway. It has been very news heavy. Here we are, week after week going, oh, there's not a lot of news. Apparently New York Comic Con opened the floodgate.
I'll take it.
For
hey,
the news.
After the kind of week I had, I was sitting in my room on Saturday just watching all this news come in, and I'm just like, please give me more.
Yeah. It's like, yay, good stuff. Clappy, jumpy, clappy hands. Yay.
Fun things.
Yay.
We like fun things.
Yes, we do. So
Yes.
some of this is just random news, and a lot of it came out of New York Comic Con. So
that's what our episode today is going to be, is news. So hold on to your hats, boys and girls, and everybody else. So I guess we'll just go right into it, right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'll start off, and I'll just go down the list because this one I'm so excited about.
yeah, so this one you actually know something about. So
Yes. So just a little background. They are doing a spin-off reboot of something. I think it's more of a spin-off of 24. It's actually called 24 Legacy. So Jack Bauer is not in this, although Kiefer Sutherland is a executive producer of the show, but he's on a different show, which I'm not going to talk about because it's not that great. Anyway, but they have someone new or someone from the old show coming onto the new show. It's Carlos Bernard, who played Tony Almeida, who was like my favorite character ever, and I was just so bummed when he didn't come back for Live Another Day. I don't know how they'd work him in, but they should have done it somehow. But he's coming back for 24 Legacy, and I can't wait because he's like the awesomest. And if you don't know who Tony Almeida is, he was in. Well, he was from the very first season. He was one of the first season. He was kind of a jerk at CTU, and you didn't really like him. And he was sort of Jack's rival, but over time they became friends, and he actually became the director of CTU at one point, and he got married to Michelle Dessler, who is awesome in her own right as a character, and seasons 2 and 3 were like the Tony and Michelle power hour when Jack wasn't around, and it was just so fun. Unfortunately, spoilers, but it's been several years, Michelle was killed off in season 5, and Tony kind of went off the deep end and went berserk. At one point, they thought they had killed him off, but then they brought him back as a villain in season 7, which is my excuse for why season 6 wasn't quite as good, was because Tony was not there. 7 was a little bit better, but it was fun watching him be the villain, and so he escaped, and he's gone off to who knows where. He's on the run, so I guess they're bringing him back as something. He's basically what they're saying. They're saying the premise of this season is based on a real story about the guys who took out Osama bin Laden. Struck us as a fascinating introduction for a character. This is about the not Jack character, the new. They don't have a name for this character yet, but he's played by Corey Hawkins, who's in The Walking Dead, who I don't know because I don't watch Walking Dead. But this guy, he's like a new agent. He's not someone who's been around for a while, and so they don't really know what they don't really say what Tony's role is going to be in this season. Although when they last left him, he was on the run. He's a mercenary. He's kind of a hardened criminal almost, which I'm like, tickles my fancy. Maybe he'll end up being the mentor to not Jack. But anyway, whatever. Regardless, Tony Almeida is going to be in the new 24, so woohoo! That bodes well in my book. So I'm over here just. So y'all remember how Mitch was about Heroes Reborn and how excited she was? That's me for 24 Legacy. I'm all over this. And it says this 24 Legacy will debut after Super Bowl 51 on Sunday, February 5th, before settling into its regular Monday at 8 p.m. slot the following night, which I'm so happy that it's going to be in its old place where 24 ought to be.
Just what you need, something else on Mondays.
Well, yes, but that's what Hulu is for.
It's like, start your week off right with 5 million shows on at the same time.
It's like when Doctor Who is on Saturday night. It feels right.
Yeah.
This is how the world should be.
Yeah.
24 is on Monday nights at 8. Anyway.
Yeah. So. Moving on to something we talked about ages ago, but of course, it's animation, so it takes a while to make, especially.
Just a little.
Yeah, and I totally spaced that this was actually a thing.
So, but we talked about this when it was announced way forever ago, but now it's ready, or close to being ready, or they at least have enough to give us a trailer for it.
Trailer.
Yeah.
Such as it is.
Yeah, they keep using the word trailer, but then they call it a teaser, so we just throw those terms around just loosely around here.
They're interchangeable.
Yeah. Tomato, trailer, teaser. Anyway, we got our first look at Tangled, the series. which they're bringing back Zachary Levi and Mandy Moore, which apparently Mandy Moore is doing double duty at the moment for stuff.
It's all good. Well, voice acting. Okay, I gotta say this right. I don't want to diminish it because voice acting is a very, demanding sort of thing.
Yep.
But it's not like, acting in live action where you have to show up and be in makeup and costume and all this stuff. Voice
That's
acting,
true.
you need your voice, and you can show up in pajamas if you want to.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder how many people actually do that.
More than probably want to admit, actually.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But obviously they're reprising their roles as Eugene, or Flynn Rider, as he prefers to be called, and Rapunzel. And it is essentially following Rapunzel as she reacquaints herself with her parents and her kingdom, and the people of her kingdom. Following.
And I'm fascinated by the trailer because it shows her with her long blonde hair again, and I'm just like, okay, how are you gonna explain this?
Yeah.
I'm sure you will, but explain.
Considering she doesn't have it when she and Flynn get married.
Yes. Good point.
So
I hope they don't pull an Aladdin with this, where at the end of Aladdin they thought, oh hey, they got married, and then they have Return of Jafar in the TV series. Like, no, they're not actually married, and they actually get married in the third movie, and it's like, what?
Well, that first marriage it wasn't legal or something. I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's Disney. They're
I know. They have time skips and whatever. I don't know.
It's timey-wimey.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be adorable and available to watch on your Disney Channel number provider.
Yeah. Whichever one it is, look it up. You'll probably know.
In my case, it's nothing. I do not have cable, so that
I
would be
don't
channel
either.
nothing. But that's
there are ways to do that, like go to your in-laws and watch it on their TV.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
I'm just glad that they have the original voice actors, because it was always, I think I always was a little not hated about some of the original Disney shows from the Disney movies. It was felt something off about it not being the actual the same voice actors.
Yes, that always bugged me, and it's like, and now that I'm older, I know, okay, well, it wasn't in their budget to get those big name actors, but it's like, it just feels wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, who do you think you were fooling us kids? We know better.
It's like, I know who Robin Williams is, and you, sir, are no Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Alrighty. Moving on to more of our childhood.
Oh yeah, this is just like childhood hand over fist.
It is. It really is. Like, our first big chunks of news are like, yay, childhood. But we got another trailer for the Nickelodeon Legends of the Hidden Temple movie.
This looks a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be, because when you first hear Legends of the Hidden Temple movie, you're like, wasn't that a game show? How are you going to do a movie about a game show? And it's like, it
like
actually looks like it might be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, considering the history of trying to turn, things like board games into movies has not been very successful. So.
Yeah. Bless their heart, they try.
Yeah, they do. So.
Pretty much the only one I've ever really, really liked was Clue.
Yeah, that's because they didn't try to make it a board game.
No, they made it. It's a straight up murder mystery, and Tim Curry's in it.
I know, so it's awesome. But anyway. But anyway, Legends of the Hidden Temple.
And we actually heard Olmec speaking for the first time in, 20 some odd years.
I know.
And it's like, ooh, he sounds just like the guy, which it is the guy.
It is the guy.
There's
no substitutions here, folks. It is the real deal. Yep, exactly. So.
And I'm kind of curious, like, how is Kirk Fogg good? Like, what's his character? Because I mean, obviously, he's not going to be playing himself.
I think actually he is, because the like trailer teaser thing we got from San Diego Comic-Con showed like that the kids are like at this camp, like this summer camp that's based on the TV show.
Oh.
And he's there as like, you know, part of the camp. So, but then they find out that the whole thing is legit. So, yeah, very meta. Okay. I'm sure he'll play more of a role into it than just being, you know, game show host. Like, hey, how you doing? You know, what town are you from? Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So
fabulous prizes.
Yeah, I would hope they give him a bit more to do this time around. So, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yes.
When it comes out.
Yep.
Later. So.
And
childhood.
Yeah, speaking of more childhood, well, this one's a little not so much my childhood. I think I was in college when these came out, but that's okay.
My childhood.
Yeah, your childhood. Why don't you take this one, Brittany?
Okay. So the teaser and premiere date for Netflix's A Series of Unfortunate Events has finally been released. So, for people who don't know, A Series of Unfortunate Events was like a book series that told the story about the three orphan I can never pronounce their last names.
Baudelaire, I think, is how they said it in the trailer.
Yeah.
He said it like once.
It's the orphans going through, well, unfortunate events.
And what it says on the tin.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. And comes out Friday, January 13th, 2017. So, of course, it would be on Friday the 13th.
Of course.
Well, why not? I mean, the last book was released on a Friday the 13th, if I'm remembering right.
I do believe so.
Like in October, which made it even more creepy, but it was cool. And you think Patrick Warburton, and you think like Kronk or The Tick, or I'm trying to think what else he's been.
I know him best from the pre-show video of Soarin' at Disney.
Oh,
okay.
Which we quote all the time.
Like, you don't really think of him as this, distinguished creepy kind of storyteller, like a Rod Serling type of character. But but I'm like watching this, I'm like, okay, it's Patrick Warburton, but it doesn't look like him. But it does. I'm confused, but I like it. And he's just that dry wit is just still there, and I'm just like, I can't wait for this.
What I'm excited is because, like, with this trailer, it has the same feel as the books did.
Yes.
So I'm super excited. Like, I didn't hate the movie, but
the movie was just kind of there.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything to write home about, and they crammed 3 of the books into one, which I can see why, because the books are so short.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, I guess you could have done better, but you didn't. I don't know. But this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to it. It's on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we'll actually be able to watch it.
Yes. Don't have to go searching for ways to watch some channel that you don't get on the internet or whatever. I don't know. So that's exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting.
And our, I guess, last bit of nostalgia.
Holy crap, this one broke everything.
It kind of broke the internet. So we got the first trailer for the Power Rangers movie, and oh my goodness, it is nothing like what we grew up with, but I don't care.
Okay, so, oh my gosh, I have so many things I want to say about this one. Because I'm like, I don't know what I was expecting. I don't think I was expecting anything per se. I mean, we've seen like promo images and we've had casting news and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, you're doing this. It's, it looks a little darker, grittier, whatever. But but it's like I've seen people compare it to Breakfast Club, which, I mean, full disclosure, I've never seen Breakfast Club. Shoot me later. But I mean, I understand the premise and kind of what it's about. And I'm like, I love that because in the original show, the characters were like, these squeaky clean straight A student type of people. They did community service and they were good kids and being a good example. The ones in the movie, they're like straight up juvenile delinquents.
I know.
And I'm like, wow, you could not go from you could not do a more different take on these characters than this. I mean, although I'm kind of confused as to why Billy's in detention if he's still kind of the straight A brainy nerd type of guy that he was in the show. But I guess we'll get to that point later. But it's just, and I'm sitting there watching the trailer and it's playing there's someone singing a song in the first little bit, and I'm like, okay, I know this song, I know these lyrics. Not from this singer, but I've heard these lyrics before, and it took me a minute. It's Johnny Cash, I Walk the Line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who got the idea to put a Johnny Cash song in a trailer for Power Rangers?
Well, and at the end of the trailer, it's like really short, but you can almost kind of hear the theme from the original very first TV series.
Oh, yeah.
It's very faint, but it's in there at the very end of the trailer. I'm like,
So yeah, this is definitely still Power Rangers, but it is totally new twist. They're not recycling footage from anywhere. This is brand new. Whoa.
Yeah.
And Jared watched the trailer and he's like, wow, this actually might be good, because he never watched Power Rangers growing up. And he I guess he kind of thought it was a little dorky and cheesy, which it is. I mean, it's nostalgic cheese out the nose, and it's just, whew, but they did it. This trailer looks amazing, and I mean, I don't want to sell it on just the strength of a trailer, because we've had good trailers in crappy movies before, but this looks awesome.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I will be there plunking down money for this.
Me too. Wearing my Power Rangers t-shirt because I have one.
I guess I need to get one.
Me too. I'm surprised I don't have one anymore.
And the thing is, like, there's like the trailer, it focuses mostly on the kids and gives you an idea of who they are. Like they're in Angel Grove and they're teenagers and they've got the names that the first 5 had. But that's about it. Like, we see Rita Repulsa for like a split second. Like, we haven't seen Zordon. We haven't seen Alpha 5. They're bringing Goldar back for the movie.
Yes.
It's so exciting.
And I'm like, okay, because I've seen the design for Rita and they've updated her, and it's like, okay, what are you gonna do with Goldar? I am really excited to see that. Because not that Goldar's original design was bad, but I'm just like, okay, you're gonna do some kind of updates with this. I just know it. So what do you guys got?
Yeah. Like, we haven't seen the Zords yet. We've only seen like the images where they got like part of a Zord in the image with like the Ranger that goes with it. Like, so we haven't seen those in action.
I kind of don't want to see the Zords until the movie. I know that's not how it's gonna happen. I know they're gonna be in a trailer, but I want to save something special for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind like seeing a little Zord action. I just don't want to see like any Megazord action until the movie. Like, I do not want to see them put together to do the Megazord until it's on the big screen.
I want the whole thing I want the big screen experience, because dude.
Yeah, like, I'm like, ugh. My 11-year-old self is just like, ah!
Like, this is amazing!
I know. Oh, my goodness.
And I mean, I just remember, in '95 seeing the first movie on the big screen, and I thought that was cool, and,
Mm-hmm.
and it was at the time, and now I'm just,
It's cheesy. You watch it
20
now.
years later.
Yeah. You watch it now, it's very cheesy. I mean, I watched it earlier this year before I went to the con in Lexington, considering most of the cast was going to be there. So, but yeah, it's cheesy, and Ivan Ooze is not the best Power Ranger villain ever. But
he hams it up.
Yeah, but you watch it for the nostalgia and appreciate the cheese for what it is. So.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Which is what a trailer is supposed to do.
Exactly.
So, on that score, Lionsgate is batting 1,000.
Mm-hmm. You've got us sold.
Is it March yet?
Nope, it's not.
That's okay. We still gotta have Christmas first.
Yeah, we still got other movies that gotta come out first.
This is true.
Yes. So. Alrighty. Oh, moving on from childhood nostalgia to.
I almost feel like we could have ended the episode there.
Yeah, I know.
Been
like 25-minute episode, and we're done. No.
No, we got more.
We got more because even though we got like Marvel unloaded like a dump truck of stuff at San Diego, apparently they held on to a second dump truck for New York Comic-Con. So there's a lot of Marvel stuff to talk about. First things first is we've got it's not a first trailer because they released kind of a teaser at San Diego with what footage they had. But now that they're actually done filming, they're done wrapped filming Iron Fist, they actually have more footage to work with and make a proper trailer. So we have a full proper trailer now for Iron Fist and a release date. So Iron Fist will be dropping on Netflix on March 17th. So, yeah. So if you're not one of those people that mainline Luke Cage in 2 days like I did, you've got some time.
We need to get caught up.
To get caught up. So, but y'all need to get caught up because we probably really need to talk the Marvel Netflix stuff before there's too many shows to talk about.
Yes, we're working on it.
So sometime between now and March 17th. How's that?
I think we can manage
okay.
that. I will tell Jared.
Good.
This is what we're doing.
Yep.
And he won't argue with me because he wants to watch it too.
Good. So, but as the trailer likes to say, the last Defender is here because we needed Iron Fist to make his debut before we got the Defenders, and it looks awesome. It's exactly what you would expect and what we've seen from Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage. A lot of fighting, a lot of punching, and a lot of madness. So, although in this case, we will travel outside of New York State. Although they do travel outside of New York just a little bit in Luke Cage, and that's all I'm going to say in fear of spoilers. But I think we're going to spend a bit more time out of New York this time around with Iron Fist as he goes through his training and all that to become the Iron Fist. But it will definitely, cross over with the previous series. Not only with stuff that has been mentioned, but with characters. They have confirmed that Madame Gao from Daredevil season 1 and 2 actually will be one of the main players in Iron Fist, which doesn't surprise me because as we're leading up to the Defenders, the Hand, and all of that fun stuff, and ninjas and other craziness is going to become more and more prominent. But yeah, Iron Fist, March 17th. It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, they said at New York Comic Con they just finished filming last week with Iron Fist, and they just started filming the Punisher series. And they haven't confirmed it, but a lot of people think that we may get the Defenders next year. Yeah, we may get 3 series to drop on Netflix next year. Not guaranteed. We'll definitely get Iron Fist and probably Punisher next year. But we may go ahead and get the Defenders in 2017 as well, which would be awesome.
Well, sometimes they finish these shows early and they just figure, it's ready, let's just put it out. So that's the nature of Netflix is, they don't have to worry about scheduling or anything. They just say, here it is, go have fun, guys.
Yep.
So
have fun binging.
It's been known to happen.
Yeah. So, and speaking of the Punisher series, not that this is a surprise that had been hinted at, especially the way Daredevil season 2 ended. It was pretty much a given, but they have officially confirmed that Deborah Wall, who plays Karen Page in the Daredevil series, will be in the Punisher. And if you've watched all of Daredevil season 2, you'll know why. So that's not a huge surprise, but always good to get proper confirmation, I guess, from the powers that be.
Indeed.
Yep. And speaking of the Defenders, they had the entire cast of the Defenders, show up for the Marvel Netflix panel. So Kristen Ritter, Charlie Cox, Mike Coulter, Finn Jones were all there on the panel, but they also brought a surprising face, because I think this was really unexpected by a lot of people. Sigourney Weaver was also there, and they announced that she is going to be playing the main villain in the Defenders.
Ooh.
So, they haven't said who, because I'm sure they want to keep that under wraps, at least for now.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure they would.
Yeah. But
I just had a quick brain plot bunny. So, Defenders, all this is in the same universe. Defenders has kind of been separate from the movies and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious if at any point if they would drop some kind of hint between Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Defenders universe. And I have no reason to think this, but I'm like, if Sigourney Weaver would make a quick appearance in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for some reason, then to tie that in with Defenders more, I don't know.
It's possible. Those involved with the Netflix series have hinted at the possibility of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix series crossing over at some point. There was that rumor running around that possibly either the Punisher can make an appearance on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Ghost Rider can make an appearance in the Punisher series, because those characters have stuff in common.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But that's just a fan rumor, wishing really at this point. But
wishing really, really hard.
Exactly. But I think it's more likely than the movies crossing over with either of the Netflix or TV series, just because the timing works better. Because the movies are planned so far in advance. And, a TV series like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they get their scripts, a couple weeks before they start filming that particular script. And the Netflix series, they film those all at once, but because it gets released all at once. But the production schedules are more likely to match up if they wanted to do that. So I think it will at some point. How significant of a crossover? Who knows? But
yeah, I'm sure it would be from Agents of Shield, just because Shield kind of seems to be the bridge, because they've had stuff happen with the movies, and so that would make more sense to do it that way, and just kind of have that be the connecting common thread of it all.
Yeah. No.
Even just a little nod to either one would be good enough for me.
Yeah. So, and it'd be interesting to see which way they decide to do it. You know, whether it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. goes there or one of the Defenders goes to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I think probably a lot of it depends on, one, what makes the most sense story-wise, and also, two, what's going to work best for the people watching. Because, I mean, I would like to assume that everyone's like me and watches all the movies, watches all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and watches all the Netflix series. I know that's not the case.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I would hope that I'm right in assuming that those who watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are also watching the Netflix series and vice versa, as opposed to people who are only watching the movies. Like, if you're into the TV, you're more than likely going to watch, essentially, TV on Netflix as well. You know, and that's one of those things where it's like, you know, a lot of people want Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to cross over more with the movies than it has. And even if they could get it work out timing-wise, if they were to bring even Coulson, who is a recognizable face, to bring him back into the movies, if you're not watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., people are going to be like, wait, didn't he die? Where did he come from? How is this?
Yeah,
because they haven't been watching.
Dealt with, hey guys, he's actually not dead.
Exactly.
That was such a big sticking point with the first Avengers movie.
Exactly. So, and to bring anyone else, if you're not watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you're going to be like, who's this person? Like, if they, you know, if suddenly Daisy Johnson made an appearance, we'd be like, oh, cool, Quake, and other people would be like, who the F is she, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't want it to be like, oh, here, everything is tied together. Just a little nod to one, just to say, okay, yes, this is connected.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, Defenders is still its own thing. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is still its own thing. The movies are still their own thing. But it's all, you know, it's all part of the same greater universe.
Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of what I like, is they can have that separateness, but they still belong to each other, I guess is what I'm saying.
There is one thing that does tie them all together. Stanley cameos.
Yes, this is true. I am appeased. Stanley's everywhere.
Stanley has a cameo and everything, and he's what ties it all together.
There we go. I approve of this.
Stan the man. Word. Oh. Excuse me. Oh, speaking of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that fun stuff, the articles on different websites would keep popping up using a very similar headline, and the headline in itself is kind of misleading. Very misleading, actually. I don't say kind of; it's very misleading. So when you see the headline, Haley Atwell is returning as Agent Carter, your heart stops a little bit, and then you click on it and realize that she's returning, not in the way you think.
Yeah. And you just gave that website ad revenue, so go you.
Yeah. So Haley will be returning as Peggy Carter in animated form. She will be appearing on an episode of whatever the show is. What is it? Avengers: Secret Wars. Animated series. I haven't watched it, so I'm
guessing it's on one of those Disney Channel.
I think so, like Disney XD or something.
Yeah.
So it may be on Netflix. I don't know. I think some of them are, but I don't know if all of them.
I think eventually they make it to Netflix. It's kind of the same thing as Star Wars Rebels. It airs on like either ABC or Disney Channel or both, and then it ends up on Netflix. Maybe.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Don't send me nasty emails.
Yeah. Like, we don't know. We try to keep track, but there's so much to keep track of. This is why we have spreadsheets for stuff.
Yes. Spreadsheets are our friends.
Yeah.
Love the spreadsheet.
Yeah. But
Yes.
apparently, the episode will include Peggy and Howard Stark teaming up with Iron Man and Captain America to stop King the Conqueror. So I don't know if that's going to be a timey-wimey type thing, and I have no idea who's going to be voicing Howard Stark. They haven't. I'm assuming it's not going to be the Howard Stark we know from the Agent Carter TV series. Otherwise, they would have said so, I would think.
That would be in the same article.
Yeah.
So unless they wanted to surprise us, but why would they? I don't know. Never mind. Ignore me.
Why would they announce Haley Atwell and not Dominic Cooper?
Yeah.
In the same thing. So
unless they haven't, haven't got him nailed down yet, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
That could be.
We shall see or hear something.
Watch this spot.
Yeah, they'll announce it if it comes
to fruition. Yep. And our last bit of Marvel news is more off into the future at this point. But over the weekend at New York Comic Con, apparently Evangeline Lilly let it slip. I don't know if she was actually supposed to say anything about this, but she did, that her character, Hope Van Dyne from Ant-Man, as we all remember, who will be taking up the mantle as the Wasp in the Ant-Man sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp. After that movie, Hope will be joining the crew at in some capacity, not for Avengers Infinity War, which I think we explained this at one point, but it's still a bit confusing because it was supposed to be, what started out, it was Infinity War Parts 1 and 2. And then the Russo brothers have changed it, so now it's just the Avengers Infinity War, which is going to be the first movie, and then the second movie is going to have its own title. So it's no longer Part 1 and 2, it's Avengers 3 and Avengers 4, essentially.
It's Infinity War and as yet untitled
Infinity War Part 2.
To Infinity War.
Yeah. So, but that essentially fourth Avengers movie, Hope Van Dyne as the Wasp, will be making an appearance. So, but that does not come out until 2019, so we got a ways to go.
Yeah, so just keep your powder dry on that.
Oh. But the Russo brothers have stated, that more than likely the Infinity War parts, movies, whatever you want to call them, the Infinity War story will be kind of bulging at the seams with Marvel characters. So,
and if you're worried about, how are they going to do this? I just point you to Captain America: Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
A good, fair amount of screen time and treatment, and the main ones got what they needed. So I think, and it is the Russo brothers directing again. So I'm not worried.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone else is. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah. Like we said after Civil War, if anyone can make, the bulging Infinity War happen, it's the Russo brothers.
Yep.
So
it's all gonna be good.
Yeah. So at the very least, at some point in Infinity War, we will see the Wasp, and they have confirmed that Doctor Strange will be in Infinity War as well. So
if you've seen that fan-made mock-up poster of all the different names of actors from the different movies that say this is who's going to be in Infinity War, that's actually looking more and more like there'll be like one or two names not on.
Yeah, this
actually
is this is the Marvel universe, and you know it is a comic book universe, and someone can die at any time. So
Yep.
yeah, granted they don't always stay dead. Exhibit A, Coulson. Uh,
They live.
Exhibit
they lived to have
B,
their own
Nick
TV shows.
Fury. Exhibit C, Bucky Barnes. So it's like you may get killed off. You probably won't stay dead, but you may get killed off and may have to miss a movie or two.
It's like when Rory gets killed off in Doctor Who,
Little
and
bit.
you're just like, yeah, so I'm back.
Yep. The comic book universe is not Star Trek, and they're not red shirts. So
Yeah.
only in Star Trek, if you're a red shirt, do you die and stay dead.
Yep.
That doesn't apply here. Speaking of Rory, nice segue there.
Rory!
Our other dump truck of news, which I think the BBC was making up for San Diego this year.
They saved it all for New York.
They
and I'm just
saved it all for New York. And it's beautiful.
It is. It means Doctor Who is on its way back, and the long wilderness year is over almost.
I can't. It's like we're all like dying, and it was like a year. Like I can't even imagine what it was like when it was off the air for 16 years.
It's true.
I don't even want to think about it.
I still despaired. And honestly, I think that's why we haven't had a lot of news lately, because Doctor Who hasn't been around to provide any.
This just said Doctor Who's still not on.
But we have some. There's a light at the end of that very, very long tunnel.
Yes. Yes, very much so. First being the trailer that they released for the Doctor Who spinoff Class, which pretty much confirms what the producers were saying, that it may be young adult, but it is not for youngsters. Just based on some of the stuff that's in the trailer. It looks a little dark and a little...
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, so if you have Doctor Who, and then you have Torchwood, and you have Sarah Jane Adventures, Class is the Torchwood to Sarah Jane Adventures Doctor Who. If that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Like Torchwood is a Doctor Who, but Class is to Sarah Jane.
I like, based on just what we see in the clips in the trailer, though, is, I mean, it's the stuff you would expect from something in the Doctor Who universe. There's mystery and monsters and timey-wimey and all that, fun stuff that we expect from the Doctor Who universe. But because this involves teenagers, young adults, it looks like it's also going to include some relevant themes to today's youth, which I think will make it more, more relatable, because with Doctor Who, the whole idea is that we can relate to it through the eyes of the companion. In this case, they are the companions, but they're teenagers, so it's like, well, we can't really relate to the teenagers that much. But, people younger than us, I say, like, I'm not that old, but I'm old enough.
Like, you kids, get off my lawn!
Yeah. The generation before us of Doctor Who fans may find this relatable. Obviously not the monsters bit, but things like going to school and doing homework and teachers that you may or may not like, and relationship issues and with your peers and your parents and that sort of thing. And occasionally the Doctor does show up. In this case, Peter Capaldi does play quite a bit in the trailer itself, his Doctor. To make it very on the nose, yes, this is a Doctor Who spinoff. This is in the Doctor Who universe. In case you didn't know, the Doctor, he's right here. Here's the TARDIS.
Yep.
Here's a sonic screwdriver.
Coal Hill School, everybody.
Yep.
Not that everybody
Just
thinks
case.
of that immediately, but
Yep. So, yeah. But I'll watch it. Oh, yeah. I think
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So I mean, whether the Doctor made an appearance or not, I was gonna watch it just because it's Doctor Who.
Yep.
And at this point, I will take whatever I can get my grubby little hands on. I'm desperate.
Yeah, I'm like, thank goodness for like the Lethbridge Stewart books and Big Finish, of course, just to keep us going through this year. But yeah, I'm this was like water to a thirsty traveler.
Yeah,
as to say. And I think Class is going to fill that gap nicely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so further on, before we have Class, we have to have Christmas.
Here in America.
In America, yes.
In the UK, they're getting Class before Christmas. Here in America, we may or may not get Class before Christmas.
I was trying to be clever. Like,
I know.
You have Christmas vacation and then you have school, but maybe I failed miserably. But anyway, Christmas special we have a title for it, and it is called the Return of Dr. Mysterio, which is funny because in Latin American countries, that's the name of Doctor Who, the show. That's what they call it. So I'm like, okay, that's going to be fun for them. Trying to figure that out. Anyway, but I guess there's a superhero in the in this Christmas special, and there's not an actual companion per se. It's just sort of everybody who's there. So yeah, we get Dr. Mysterio. We have some kind of odd superhero. So far we haven't had, I mean, I don't know whether to call this a trailer or not. It has clips of it, but it also has behind the scenes clips, so it's not strictly behind the scenes. But it's like, we see all these different things, and we see it's Christmas, and the Doctor's there, and
there's a guy in a cape.
And there's like he has his own superhero logo, so yay him. And
there's I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm like,
we'll find out on Christmas.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with Doctor Who is like, we get these, for the specials and all that. Like we get like trailers, and we're just all like, what? Because we don't have context, obviously. So it's like, it is with Doctor Who, like pretty much anything goes. So pretty much everything you're looking at is probably not what it seems. So you can't make assumptions because odds are you're going to be wrong.
I'm fully prepared to find out that this superhero, whoever he is not actually a superhero. He's actually just sort of a bumbling idiot who is trying to save people, and the Doctor comes in and says, okay, let me show you how an expert does this. Because that's what the Doctor does, especially this Doctor.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because I love how Capaldi's Doctor is just like, amateurs, let me do this. And he's like he doesn't apologize for it. Like, he doesn't care that he's rude. In fact, he doesn't even realize he's being rude. He's just like, there's incompetent people everywhere, and I have to deal with them. Oh, goody. I'm just like, I love his grumpiness. It just makes me happy.
And the day that Clara, quote unquote, died, he probably threw out all those note cards that she made for him. So he just runs around being rude and still not ginger.
Yep.
So, but I'm intrigued, and I'm not really in a hurry for Christmas, but at the same time, I'm like, yes, please. I need Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point where every year I'm like, well, okay, I do care about presents, but
Yeah.
my biggest thing to look forward to is the Doctor Who Christmas special.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. And let's see. More from New York Comic Con. There was, the Doctor Who crew was there. Stephen Moffat, Peter Capaldi, and there was a picture going around of Jenna Coleman and Matt Smith with Peter Capaldi and was it Michelle Gomez?
No, it was
No.
Alex, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, Alex Kingston.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were all there at the con, probably not in conjunction with Doctor Who, obviously, but it was like you had the two doctors and you had Clara and River in a picture with, it was somebody's photo op, I think, and I'm like, oh, wow, what if that happened at, one of our local cons and they all showed up and it would be like, ugh. Whoever that lady that was in the picture with them, I would be like dying if I was her, but
yeah,
man, she's stinking lucky there. But let's see, the panel. Peter Capaldi said he would like a meta episode of Doctor Who, meaning he would love to see the Doctor trapped in a television show that's like Doctor Who, and the central character is a mysterious time traveling man who probably has an alcohol problem. You have to write around that for a family show.
Yeah.
But and he has to go on and fight men in rubber monster suits, and he'd like the Doctor to be placed in Doctor Who and wake up and be like, my whole life is a show.
Yeah.
That would be so funny. I mean, they could take cues from in the first season when they had the Big Brother episode with all the game shows. They could take a few cues from that, even though that's not strictly what that was about. But it'd be like kind of the same thing, like, oh my gosh, I'm in a TV show, what am I doing? Oh, and who is this Doctor Who fellow? So, it would be like, if he showed up on the set of Doctor Who and the Daleks in the 1960s and Peter Cushing's there playing playing Doctor Who, and, and he's like, that's not how I remember it. And he gets caught up in making the movie or something. And then these weird things start happening on the set, and they're like, this isn't how we scripted it. And the Doctor, the real Doctor gets up and says, okay, this is my time to shine. So that would be.
Yeah.
I think I just wrote it for them.
Yeah.
I will take that job, BBC.
Yeah. Like,
Or
sold.
I'll let you even have that one.
Yeah, like, I will let you have that one. Just fly us all over there, and let us be there on set while you're filming it.
Let us drive some Daleks around for a day.
Yeah, just let us have our own 5-ish Doctors moment.
Yes, I will so be down. Yes. Let's do it. Let's get Stephen Moffat on the phone. Hey, Stephen Moffat, I wrote that meta episode already. Here, you can have the idea. Just fly us out to Cardiff, and we'll be good.
Yep.
We can see the filming.
That's all we ask.
That's all. Nothing major.
Nope. Oh my. Dear Stephen, he's not on social media anymore.
No, of course I don't blame him, but darn it.
No.
Isn't his wife? Well, she was.
She was, but I don't know if she still is.
She might be, and she just doesn't tweet very often. I think Twitter's kind of run its course and kind of falling away as
that depends on who you ask. A lot of people think the Twitter and its game are like really super strong.
Yeah.
Just not for Stephen Moffat.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, and I'll be honest, it ain't my favorite thing either. I have it. Anyway, That's a different story. We're talking about Doctor Who.
Yes, Doctor Who. Yeah. Speaking of Stephen Moffat.
Stephen Moffat, he also says that the next series of Doctor Who will feel like, quote, the first episode you ever see. Which, we know Moffat, and he likes to make a big promises, I guess is what you call it, about Doctor Who, which, that's his job.
He exaggerates a little, I think.
He does, but I think it's also he gets excited about people seeing what he's cooked up for the next season. So he says, the tone is very different. He says episode 1 of series 10 will feel like episode 1 of series 1 with a new companion, Bill, played by Pearl Mackie. And, the last series with Clara, that relationship had gotten tortured and dark and went to odd places. It's one of my favorite series to work on. I was delighted with it, but it become darker, and that's where we were with that relationship. And if I gave you one toned word for this series, it's new. It's brand new. You're getting to see the Doctor all over again through a very different pair of eyes, which, this is me talking now, we are, because we're getting a new companion, and that's always what happens. And it's like, you see the delight in... Because I remember when Clara first came on, and she was in the Bells of St. John, and she's talking to the Doctor about the TARDIS, and you have a shed out here, and you built a bike, and what are you doing out? all these things, and then she gets in the TARDIS and bigger, or no, she said it's smaller on the outside, and so all these new things, and you just get so much joy from seeing the companion see it for the first time, and I think. After a while, you kind of get used to it the same way the companions get used to it. So when there's a new companion, you're just like, I remember feeling this way when I saw the show and all these different things. So yes, definitely new eyes. Where was I? Let's see, back to Stephen Moffat. In fact, we went to particular pains to make sure episode 1 is really episode 1. It could be the first episode you ever see. It explains the entire mythos of Doctor Who in the 2 minutes that it takes, and you can start there. Brand new is the tone. So it sounds like if you have friends who want to get into Doctor Who and don't know where to start, this might be a good chance to start them here. Fresh eyes, fresh and fresh everything. So, yeah, sounds exciting.
Mm-hmm.
As always.
Mm-hmm. It is exciting. Of course, it's always exciting when you get Doctor Who, but
yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they will try to top it, but how do you top the Doctor coming out on a tank and with a guitar?
Yeah.
for the opener.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it is going to at least be slightly new because I wasn't there in real time for Clara's introduction, so at least not the first time around. So if you count the her cameo in the Dalek Asylum of the Daleks and then the Snowman and all that, so
I keep forgetting that you
joined very late.
Yeah, you're a lot more recent.
Yeah, it seems like I've been watching for forever, but no, I've only been a Doctor Who fan for 3 years, slightly over 3 years. It's been 4. I think it's been 4 years since I first started watching. When I first watched, Rose, but it took a while for the show to grow on me before I got completely hooked, and then it took me a while to get caught up even just with the new series, because at the time it wasn't streaming on Netflix. It was only available on DVD, and it was very popular, so you'd wait a long time for those DVDs to come in the mail.
Yeah.
So I'm all the way back on Martha Jones' introduction, and I'm seeing people on my Facebook feed talking about dinosaurs on a spaceship. I'm not there yet.
I'm getting there. No, it's yeah, because I first started watching in 2010 when Matt Smith's first season was just finishing up, and yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, there are people who are a lot newer than I am. So even though I still feel like a newbie, I'm also an old bee.
Yeah.
In some ways, so it's kind of okay.
So, but now I'm caught up and I'm experiencing everything the same as everyone else. So I've experienced a Doctor change, I've experienced a companion change, I'm about to experience a showrunner change. So
I think a lot of us are about to experience the showrunner change.
Yeah, everyone's about to experience a showrunner change, but I wasn't around when they made the switch from to Stephen Moffat, so
yeah,
I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be like when Steve Moffat leaves, but we'll find out.
We will see. Oh, P.S. I have to say this because I saw this floating around Facebook and I just wanted to punch somebody.
Yep.
well, I don't know, you guys might have seen it. There was some article floating around saying that Stephen Moffat changed his mind and was not leaving after series 10. He was going to stand for 11, and I'm just like, BS. It was actually in, someone posted it in the Salt Lake Comic Con closed group, because, that's a mix of a lot of different people from different fandoms, and, someone who probably wasn't in this as much as we are, so I cut the person who posted a lot of slack, but at the same time, I was just like, ugh. And it was, the article was from, like, the Mirror or somebody that wasn't very reputable, so I'm just like, no, don't post this crap, please. But
the mirror gets it right like 1 in every 10 times.
Yeah, and this is definitely not that type. So yeah, if you see going around, put the kibosh on it as soon as you can, because do us all a favor.
Yeah. Somehow I think if Moffat changed his mind, that would make a lot of people very unhappy.
Especially since Chris Chibnall has already been announced as the showrunner replacement. He's probably getting stuff ready for his first season, and whatever he's doing. So yeah, I don't believe that. Crappy, just don't.
Anyway. Yep. Last bit of news from Doctor Who, and really in general, the Stephen Moffat, while he's still in charge,
which he is.
Yeah, he is. First, do this slightly out of order here in the way that this article is written, actually. But he mentioned that Mike Bartlett has written an episode for Series 10. Specifically, he wrote episode 4, which Stephen Moffat let the title slip.
Good job, Stephen.
Yeah, because they were talking about writers, for season 10 at the panel they had in New York Comic Con. And he said, we've got some new writers. We're not rolling them all out now. Oh, I could do one fun thing. We've got Mike Bartlett coming in. He's just done The Haunted Hub, a brilliant script from Mike Bartlett. He goes on to say he wrote the show Dr. Foster, which is a big series in the UK. He said it's brilliant. He's a brilliant playwright, and he's a longtime fan of Doctor Who. And he actually put his series on hold for a couple weeks so that he could write that episode of Doctor Who. So, and I guess at least the website that I got this article from, they went on to say that I guess there'd been a rumor floating around that an episode in Series 10 would have something to do with like a haunted house, and they're assuming that this is probably it, based on the title.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Of course, any time between now and when Doctor Who comes out, they could always change the title.
Yeah, I was going to say, they could, the titles have been known to change, just, because you've written the script, but that doesn't mean that it's still, that there still aren't things that they could do instead. I mean they could, and even when they're filming it, sometimes actors ad lib, but I mean they wouldn't change the title at that point.
No, probably. But if once they get filming, they could realize that that title doesn't really make sense. This title would make more sense, or that sort of thing.
Or they just they like something different. So, but something haunted.
Yes.
A haunted hub.
Yes. No. Not we have done like spooky type stories, before.
Hyde is still my favorite.
Yeah, Hyde's probably the closest to it. But the, I guess, more exciting thing, and that people really are picking up on, in that same panel, is Stephen Moffat mentioned that a writer from the classic series is writing for Series 10. But he didn't say who. So, of course, the speculation rumor mill has just gone nuts. With all sorts of names getting thrown out there, some recognizable, some not.
Well, how many people wrote for classic Doctor Who?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's even before you factor in some of them have passed away.
Yeah.
Instant, but no.
Yeah.
It could be anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the names I don't recognize that have been thrown out. Some of them I do. I guess Stephen Moffat is praised, or mentioned that as some of the ones that he favors, just based on their work. Rona Munro, who wrote Survival. Ben Aronovich, who wrote Remembrance of the Daleks and Battlefield. People throwing around names like Terrence Dix.
That would be a pretty big get.
Yeah.
Sure. 'Cause he's written everything.
Yeah.
Books
yeah.
And he was a big deal in the.
Yeah. Mark Platt, who wrote Ghostlight, which I don't know. I don't know if we really.
Well, he would be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that how you will, I guess.
That one was severely cut down. That wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. And Andrew Smith, who wrote Full Circle, and they've both done work for Big Finish, so they're at least in that Doctor Who mindset, and familiar with it. And then also one that's been thrown around who, not technically a writer, but he did have a lot to do with the scripts, Andrew Cartmel.
That would be cool to get him.
Yeah.
To write an episode. I'm trying to now. Okay, now I have to look this up. Did he ever actually write books or Big Finish or something?
He
I think
not for Doctor Who, at least not in the article I have. Apparently, he did write scenes, not full scripts, including Mel's last appearance in Doctor Who and Dragonfire.
Okay.
So he has written scenes, but not full on scripts.
Okay, he's written comic strips for Doctor Who magazine. He did 3 Doctor Who novels for Virgin Books in their new adventure series. And let's see. Oh, and he's written some Big Finish, Winter for the Adept, Foreign Devils. That's a novella. And then Atom Bomb Blues is a book. And he developed a script for Torchwood called The Jinx, but it was dropped when the show's format was reworked. And he was a script editor for Big Finish, Lost Stories line. I'm just going off Wikipedia here.
Yeah, Wikipedia.
And then 2 scripts. Okay, so yeah, he did write 2 scripts for the season 27 that never happened, Crime of the Century and Animal, and he co-wrote Earth Aid with Ben Aronovich. So those would have been in season 27 had season 27 actually happened. Cool. But so yeah, he would be a good choice. Anyway,
and any of those are potentially likely. Although I do like the comments of, it was another article I think I read or Facebook post, somebody shared it or something, and people were throwing around maybe Douglas Adams has a script out there that is buried in a desk somewhere.
I was wait, Douglas Adams?
No, not quite. No.
Boy, people are really stretching.
Yeah.
It's got to be somebody who can find.
Yeah. Odds are I think it's going to be someone who's alive. And
yeah. So somebody that, the BBC can get in touch with.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's funny.
That is funny. Oh my gosh. People are hilarious. I love people, and at the same time, I kind of hate them too.
Yeah.
But that's another story. Oh. Fandom, you're so cute.
Yeah.
Just pinch your cheek and pat you on the head.
Yeah. A little bit, though. But I guess we'll have to wait until closer to Easter Saturday, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Fandom. It's fabulous.
Oh yes.
It is.
So anyway, that's sort of our that's our New York Comic-Con coverage for for this year, and there was quite a bit, and I was glad to have it because it's fun. It's all good, and if you, dear listener, were paying attention to anything New York Comic Con related, and you'd like to highlight some of your favorites, or if you went to New York Comic Con even and want to tell us about what you did, or just want to throw in your 2 cents about anything we talked about here, you can send us feedback, and we will read it out on the podcast. And our email address is 5ishfangirls@gmail.com. And you can also find all of our contact information, social media, and such at our website, the5ishfangirlspodcast.blogspot.com. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube. And we're also on iTunes. That's where you can download us. You can also get us on Stitcher Radio and Google Play. And also highlight our Patreon subscribers. We, as always, we thank you. I know I say thank you every week, but I'm very sincere about it because we cannot do this without your support, and we are always, always grateful for it. We do not forget to say thank you. And if you would like to support us financially, monetarily, you can do that at Patreon, and we would appreciate that, and we'll include you in our thank you as well. And also, our Amazon store is open for business. You can go to our website, and there's a link on the right-hand side of our site, and you'll see a big Amazon gift card, or even in our link where it says support the show, and you can buy whatever you're going to buy from Amazon anywhere from that, and that helps us out as well. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here and downloading and supporting the show. And keep an eye on our Facebook page. We're always putting stuff up. And I will mention this. I keep forgetting to mention it at the beginning of the show. I put up another blog post from my blog. I put it on our Facebook page of Jared Watches Sailor Moon Crystal. And we're getting through this. We've actually watched a lot more episodes, and I've been getting up on the blog just because writing a blog post takes time. But so far I've gotten we've gotten a lot of good comments from that, and I'm glad people are enjoying it. So I linked to that on our Facebook page as well. So I'm glad people are enjoying it. If you haven't seen it yet, just go to our Facebook page, and it's all the posts are linked together. You can see them, and they're quite funny. Jared does. We both do a good job of snarking along with the episodes, and it's out of love. It is truly it's a work of like I said, it's like Adventures with the Wife in Space with Neil and Sue doing Doctor Who, but this is different. And now, Jared, we're looking at future episodes, and they haven't done the dub of season 3 yet, and I'm not sure why. So I'm like, we're gonna run an episode soon, but we might do something else. So watch this space. I'll let you know what we end up doing. But we still have season 1 to go through, so we're not anywhere close to being done yet. I just put a plug in there for that.
Awesome. Alrighty then. Well, I guess with that, a lot of news.
The news was fun. I like these.
Yeah, it's like fandom high. Now we're coming off the high, but that's okay.
Yes.
No. But I guess with that, we shall sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Doda saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
Oh, and I had to yawn right now, did I? Sorry.
Apparently you did.
I did. I'm usually so good about that. Anyway, sorry. And this is Rachel from Indianapolis, Indiana. And see y'all next week.
You have been listening to the 5-ish Fangirls podcast.
Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.